Well, hello everybody. So we're doing these new bite-sized, pint-sized? Or was that just pint-sized because it was me talking nonsense? Bite-sized podcasts for our channel, and we've got Matt Beard on today.
Hello, good afternoon, morning, evening, depending on time, I guess.
Yeah, it depends time, date, whenever you listen to it, but we appreciate it, so thanks very much.
No
Yeah, I
worries.
was
So,
actually going to say that. That does make sense. It doesn't really, you can't really time it and say good morning, good evening, or good night because nobody's listening to it live. It's actually when it goes out and they download and play it. So it doesn't really matter.
no, it doesn't. That's the awesome thing with podcasts, isn't it? If you find that we do the whole was it ASM or whatever that puts you to sleep, lip smacking and all that, yeah, if we put you to sleep at night, that's awesome as well. But what we're doing now is biting into Matt Beard's time. So Matt, how are you this evening? What's happening?
I am good. I am looking forward to the weekend. It's been a fun week and it's time to have a bit of downtime at the weekend, so it's a nice way
This
to
is
shut down.
Yeah, Easter weekend in the UK. We generally get 4 days off, Friday through to Monday off,
hmm
which is nice. Let's be honest.
I will not comment on that in the slightest.
Well, I was kind of told to take the time off. To be fair, I wasn't
No,
planning to, but it's down for me means no billable time. But do you know what? It was, as Matt said, it's a good work-life balance and definitely need it right now. It's been hectic.
hmm
Are you off for the couple of days as well then, Matt?
I am indeed. I have no specific plans. I mean, the height of my plans probably is wallpapering and the football, so that's about the height of my plans, but sometimes nice to escape the tech in it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd rather be working on that one. To be fair, Matt.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. It's either that or it's looking after the 2-year-old, so it's one fighting fires and fires.
Watching Liverpool is almost like putting up wallpaper or watching paint dry. So, I mean, I don't know what I'd prefer more.
This might be a bite-sized podcast, but I'm not sure I'm going to bite to those.
Nice, nice.
Oh, we've got more, don't worry. I have got a list.
So, what else have you been up to? What's been happening in work for yourself then, Matt?
Nothing, just constant. It's interesting because as an ISV, my day to day, I sort of not do the same thing, but have a very strong understanding of the same sort of area of people. So it's just been a case of talking to people, building stuff up, helping people out, and just busy times in work. We've not long been back from the summit Amsterdam, so it's all.
So, for anyone who doesn't know who you are, do you want to just give them a wee overview of who you are, what you do, where you work, that sort of thing?
I can do that. So I am Matt Beard. In my 9 to 5:30 career, I am the team leader. I'm the development team leader at Data8. In charge of everything we build and try and help the development team keep all the products moving, and doing that sort of stuff. So at Data8, it's data quality. So it's such a wide thing that I will spend forever talking about. But checking data is real, checking it's valid, checking that emails are correct, telephones are correct, addresses are correct, all that sort of stuff, as well as duplicate, so that sort of stuff. So my day-to-day stuff is looking at tens of thousands and millions of records and working with people to try and
Oh, so
get the best
mass
money out of it.
data, yeah, mass data validation and clearing and stuff like that, isn't it?
Yeah, master data management and validation and that sort of stuff. So that's my 9 to 5:30. My outside of work stuff is being in the community, building stuff, helping people out, do other stuff, and playing the Xbox is probably the height of my outside of work life as well.
Xbox, an interesting one. I've seen that kicking about quite a bit recent, not just for yourself, but there seems to have been a whole thing in the last few days about gamer tag chat and stuff. I'm not quite willing to put mine out there. I'm definitely needing to change my gamer tag before I start publicising that one, just because it is so bad.
It's that bad that I can memorise it without even being on my Xbox.
Yeah, it's terrible. It was just a random one that flung out. But anyway, yeah, that's interesting.
A little question about kind of the work, what you do day to day. So, do you do the development side of things, or are you doing like algorithms on how the data should look and feel, or are you sitting line by line looking at people's addresses and phone numbers?
So not the last bit. We build the tools that do it in a batch environment much quicker than any human ever can. My job role has changed a lot recently. So the last few years, I've been sort of the person and one of the team that sits and types all the code out and builds the tools we use. It's now extended a bit more to helping other people do that, and also being a sort of a client-facing person to that, to help people understand how to use our tools, how our tools can help them, and not pre-sales, because I'm not a salesman. I will never be a salesman. But just this middle ground of how you can apply crazy advanced technology to your system.
So it's
Basically,
almost like a user adoption and a peer within the business as well. So you're like the one that will help mentor and train the people that are also doing the tool work, I suppose, at the
yeah,
moment. And then you're going to the businesses and helping them understand it. So a big piece of user adoption right there by the sounds of it.
yeah. I mean, I know inside out what our tools can do, and people don't understand the ins and outs of their own data. So I sort of apply what I know we can do to make people think twice about their data and their data structure and their data integrity, and bringing it all together into one sort of nice, easy to use methodology.
Yeah, one of the tools that we actually use where I am just now is the postcode lookup stuff that you do. And it's
Oh yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
It's worldwide. It's up to date. You can stick in a postcode, you can stick in a building name, a street name, and it just starts pulling back all that validation from address line 1. And then it'll populate the rest of the address. That's pretty cool. That's really intelligent for me. It's one of the best postcode lookups I've kind of seen. And there's a lot out there, obviously. Depends what you want to get and things like that. But
Can you remember the one that we had when you were on a service desk and I was the CRM
yeah,
consultant? Can you remember that one? So
yeah,
just to give you a
and
little
like
bit
the
of
updates came on a CD that you had to then upload to the server.
So we had, let's call it a proprietary address lookup system that was just a database, and every 3 months we would be emailed the updates from, is it like the PAF ID updates? The postcode address ones. We were emailed, we were sent them in a CD. We had to load the rows into a database and inject it into the database to get the up to date information. It was such a horrible process. Then the one person who knew how to do it, Mr. Isdale, then decided that he was going to leave, so nobody knew what was happening.
Nice.
Oh man, that was my first forte into any sort of postcode lookup. Never mind what we're now using with Data 8's one where it's embedded in our CRM. We can do postcode validation through the website or across it as well with the same service. It's pretty awesome. But it's Matt that's plugging it, not me.
It's all right. I'm quite fine if you don't want to do it instead. It's fine by me.
So you did mention that you're involved now in the community. You're doing a lot of community work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that you've started to do some tools. I don't know if they've been published fully yet, and you can talk about them.
Yeah. So it's a few things. So I find with this community is that it's like a tattoo pain. Like, it's a pain that you get when you talk in front of a room. The first time you do it, it's absolutely terrifying. But then a little part of your brain goes, "That was quite fun. I'll do it again." And then you just sort of have this addictive pain. You just keep talking to people, and you throw yourself in the deep end more than you should, and it's weirdly addictive. So yeah, I started doing talks at all different events, and then as a developer, I guess there's, you'll know more than anyone right now, the latest buzzwords around all this low code, no code, that sort of stuff. I hope that doesn't become a full thing, because then I won't have a job. But somebody needs to develop the tools that does the no code.
Yep.
Listen, I've been no code, low code for the past 14 years. I've been doing Dynamics, and we still need devs for some stuff. So I think
Yeah,
we're going to be all
exactly.
right.
Even at that, I was on the App in a Day course this week from Microsoft. Dynamite course, awesome course, built some really cool stuff from a static Excel spreadsheet and things that looks dynamite. You still need to understand code to do it, and that's a no-code power up. You still need to understand the contextual string and data sources and what you're pulling in. So it's weird. I have had this conversation this a couple of times this week about teaching people up in the citizen dev type thing, and I'm a functional technical consultant, solution architect. I'm not a dev or anything like that. But I'm constantly telling people how to do things and showing them the tools and things like that. And I agree, there's a slight element where you go, do you want to give 100%? Because if I do, then where's my job? But I don't think it's an issue, really.
Yeah. So one of the things I've been trying to do with it is, so there's all sorts of things in place that this what's the word? This sort of new buzzword causes is that people don't then want to write code. So I was doing a lot of my expertise in code to use and apply to the community. So XRMToolBox, I mean, I would imagine most people know what that is. If they don't know what it is, then they've been working far too hard for far too long. So I've built a couple of tools for that I've got out there and published. One is published already. One I'm still working on right now. So the one that's published, it's quite cool, is it's all to do with the data and data validation. So it's sort of weekly links to what I do day to day. So it's most basic level. So because we are an ISV, we develop for all sorts of people. We have on-premise instances. That's where we do development. The joy of on-premise, we have a SQL database. So that's where this data export service comes into play. So the data export service is something that I think people rely more and more on, especially with sort of Power BI and that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's there. But one of the problems you have is as time goes on, people can change metadata behind the scenes. So you might drop a value from an option set, or you might shrink a field and say that only wants to be 80 characters in length rather than 100. That stuff never gets enforced. So I will still call it CRM. Yes, everyone listening will shout at me, but it's a habit that I can never get out of. So CRM or CE will let you do it, and will let you save that and commit it to the database. The second you start using the data export service, it's going to start throwing a wobbler because it can't fit 100 characters into 80 characters.
Yep.
So that's the sort of problem that you have. So the tool I've built is designed to look at a system, looks at every bit of data and checks that the data that's stored in a field actually matches what it should do. So is it a valid option set value, or is the text fit in? Is the number within the upper and lower range of what it should be? So that's the sort of thing that just gets you sort of a quick hit on your data to say that this is what it should be. Does it match? So that's the tool that's out there. The other tool that's coming out that's quite cool is that they've recently previewed about how you can put custom controls in a business process flow. The only way you can do that is through horrible hacking of XML. So it's tried to be a way to go, copy the custom control that's on this field onto this field in the process flow, and it looks pretty. That's that, but it's not quite finished yet.
So that was the one yesterday, Ian, I was actually telling you about.
Yes.
So we were actually having a chat about this yesterday and explaining, kind of going back and forth. I mean, what me and Ian have said quite a few times is we should actually just record our day-to-day conversations, because we talk about all this sort of thing day-to-day.
Yeah, I was having the whole
But, I mean,
conversation about like editorial grids and how it's all single line when you might have a a multi-line box. You can have a custom control where you can, on like the left-hand side, right-hand side, wherever you want, where it will pop that out, and you can then have the multiple lines of text in there, so you can click on it and see it. That was cool. And then this was Mark was bringing up at that point the tool that you were working on about putting it in the business process flow, which is super cool.
Yeah, especially for people like me with the no-code, the low-code solutions, where we want it to look nice and we know that the tools are there. So I don't know if you can give too much away. Is it a case that you load the custom control into the tool and then it applies it, or do you still need to enable the custom control within the platform first?
So the version 1 is going to be, let's assume you've got the control somewhere on your form. So it says take the custom control that's applied to my name field and apply it to the name field in the business process flow. So there's no sort of configuration. It sort of just copies the configuration that's already there. Version 2, what I intend up being is that an entirely bespoke way of configuring custom controls through XRMToolBox rather than through the UI, because it's difficult to do through the UI. And with the Power Apps component framework, or whatever they're calling the PCF nowadays, when that comes into GA, there's going to be a whole market to configure those sorts of stuff as well. So I'm trying to get ahead of the game because people are going to need it.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I was thinking about, like that multi-line stuff and editorial grids and things like that. It's all about putting it into the Power App. When you're embedding the Power App and having things there, there's so much need for the custom controls in there. You can see it.
Yeah. If it saves one person 20 minutes of XML hacking, then to me it was worth building.
Always the way. If one person learns something or saves time, then it's worth it. It's, as you say, it's the tattoo pain or peeling a plaster off. It's the satisfaction you get at the end, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
So are these your first two tools, or have you tried anything before?
No, that's it. I've been playing about a little bit, but that's the first two that was sort of viable enough to publish out into the real world and let other people see them.
So why did you start doing the tools like that? Was there anything in the community that made you do it, or did you just find that in your work it was just a little bridge and it was a little mini project out with that you continued?
Well, so indirectly it was from you guys, and more so Jonas. Jonas did a session at D365 Saturday Scotland, which was let's build an XRM tool.
Yep.
And then when at the start, he put a thing out that says, "Oh, who can think of a tool to build?" And I'd been thinking about this one for a while. And then I sort of said, "Oh, why don't we do this one?" And a few people in the room went, "Oh, that's a good idea." And then ultimately, the one I put forward didn't get picked by, and we built a different one. But then I thought, actually, people in the room already said that they might use it. So I was, and then off the back of Jonas's talk that showed how relatively easy it was to do, I thought, why not?
So you might be the one person from his butterfly effect that has actually taken that session and built something.
Yep.
Which is a good thing. Like exactly that. It's that whole, at least if one person does it, it's a win.
Right, so wait a minute though. Just when you talk about butterfly effects, so if we didn't run that event, you weren't in that session, you didn't build that tool. So I hope our name is on the credits somewhere.
I'm sure it is somewhere.
There's no cash kickback, Mark. Don't worry about it.
Is it not? It doesn't matter then. It's cool. You can have all
Yeah,
the credit you want. If
I've
there's
not
nothing,
monetized it. Don't worry.
damn. See, you're definitely not a pre-sales guy, then, are you?
No, this is just him teasing everybody. If you want more, you'll need to pay him. That's it, right?
So you mentioned a couple of that you've talked at a few events. What was the first event that you talked to? I actually had it in my head that one of your first ones was Amsterdam a couple of weeks ago, but it seems that you've talked before then.
No, I've done a few now. I was doing it way back when Adam Vero used to run the UK chapter. So he did a clever thing actually. So it first came about was that he did a talk called, what was it called? The XRM Factor, which was basically 6 people got 10 minutes to talk about an XRM tool. And then the audience voted on the winner, and then the winner then did a half-hour presentation on the tool. So that was a nice intro into. It's only 10 minutes, not an hour, because an hour is a long time to stand in front of a room.
It's a long time to get nervous, isn't it?
Yeah. So then I did that first talk. I thought that wasn't too bad, and then they've sort of gone on from there. With my new role in what I do as a business, so from Data 8, I generally will do the live demos. So when we do these Amsterdams and we go to the US and we do the Summit US show, we have to demo our stuff. So I have a room full of people to talk to there. So it's just sort of snowballed from that 10 minutes into give me the chance to talk and I will talk about it. Flow is the new thing I keep talking about. We're not even have time to talk about sort of flow today and that sort of stuff. But yeah, so flow is probably the next remit of places I'm going to go with talks, I think.
Yeah, I was in your session in Amsterdam, really enjoyed it.
Just talk about Amsterdam, just because I wasn't there.
Cheers. Mr. I'm too tight to take time off of work and come and join us. No, it was definitely was a good session. So out of all the events that you've been to then so far, what's your favourite one? Not having to be an event where you were speaking, just in general for atmosphere. What's the best one so far?
So you're going to want me to say Scotland, aren't you?
Of course.
So the
And
Scottish
we'll
one.
edit your voice. What we'll do, if you don't say Scotland, I'm going to edit Zach Gibson's voice over you, and that's how it's going to be.
This is a nice generic scouser. I don't quite have the body of Zach Gibson, so you can pretend that's fine. As long as you Photoshop the body on me as well, then I'll take it.
Overlay the whole lot, full package.
You do know that that's now going to be the image for this podcast.
Awesome. That's fine. That's fine. I'll make it my Twitter profile for a bit as well.
Brilliant.
So what I was going to say. So, I mean, we do the summits as we tend to go over as Data 8 and we'll sort of go in the expo hall and get a booth. But the joys of that is that because the expo hall is shut when the talks are on, I get to attend as an attendee as well. The one they did one in Nashville 2 years ago. That was solid. I learned a lot in that Nashville one 2 years ago. Not that Phoenix wasn't any worse the year after, but the summits, they're big, but they're 3-4 day events. It's a lot to take in, but they're the summit. They're the inaugural bit. They're massive. So yeah, I would say Nashville.
And I find with them as well, you tend to learn more at the start of the week because by the end of the week, we know what everyone's like in the Dynamics community. They're all party animals, and I think everyone's flagging by the end of the week, and sometimes you just don't take in as much.
Yep. No, I agree. They're intense. They're long and they're intense, and you get home and you sleep for days after it, but they're worth it.
Good. So, what are your social media links?
So LinkedIn, I'm on Matt Beard. You'll find me. I don't particularly use LinkedIn a lot. I try to use it more, but I'm terrible at it. Twitter is probably the go-to. Unfortunately it's Matty Beard, MATTY BEARD. I was a child when I made it. I now can't change it. So there you go. That's me.
Anything else you want to plug while we're here?
No,
If not, we have one question from the audience that we have to put to you.
Okay. It's always scary, but okay.
Yeah, it's a little an interesting one. So, why don't you have a beard when your name's Matt Beard?
Fair question, and ironically, not the first time I've been asked that. It's not through lack of trying. I try. I have a very small beard. Let's say a few millimeters. It's patchy. I would love to grow a beard.
Right, being asked that from the bearded CRM guy, that must be a bit of a kick to the face, really. That's unfair. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I've just taken the name that you were given that you didn't get to choose and asked you a question about it, and it's all because of a certain Joe Lindstrom.
It makes me sad. Like, if I could have a beard, I would have a beard to the floor.
You're not the only one. I'm going to say that Jim Novak says he can't grow a beard because he just can't. And Gus Gonzalez has been saying that he's going to grow a beard when he comes to visit us next year.
And
so
wear
if
a
he's
kilt.
not got a beard,
Yeah, I read that.
oh yeah, and a kilt.
I read that. I feel like we should have a beard off and like build some sort of power up or flow for, and then the loser has to do a forfeit in Scotland.
Okay, so we're not bringing Julian with us then, because he's already won.
No, so this is people that can't grow a beard or don't naturally have a beard and who can have the best beard.
I like this.
Do you know, like, I don't know if I'm willing to participate in that because it would mean shaving off and starting again. Like, that's why I don't do the Movember thing. But I feel like I need to get involved. Oh my god!
I also think my wife will massively disagree, but she might listen to this podcast, so oh well. Oh, she might, and if she does listen to it, hi.
Hi, Matt's wife.
What we could do, yeah, so we could actually use Movember as the sort of cut-off. 1st or 31st of 30, I can't remember how many days are in October. I don't know. So last day in October, clean shaven, and you then can't shave until you come up to Scotland, and then we see what everyone's beard is like.
So I'm in then because you've just told me that because I'm in Scotland, I don't need to shave.
I mean, let's be honest, we didn't shave anyway.
And to be fair, my missus has told me that if I shave my beard, we're done.
I've been told the same thing. I mean, as our face is that bad that we have to hide them behind hair.
Well, it's worrying because she met me before I had a beard, so I don't really know what to make of it.
She shaped you into the man she wants you to be.
Oh. Yes, Jen has indeed.
Oh, don't change for your woman. Oh no, sorry, I did, and I'm now not allowed to take my beard off.
I mean, if you got, I don't think any of us, imagine one of either me or you stand next to each other without a beard.
It would confuse so many people if I had no beard.
Yeah. Mark's had a shave. No, that's just Ian.
And they'd be like, Mark's looking different. He's looking a lot shorter because he's no beard. Oh, that's just Ian with it. What? On that note, guys, that's the Bite Side podcast over and done with. I need to learn how to say bite size, don't I? Because I can't say it right, I don't think.
Because you're getting your beard in your mouth as you try and talk.
Yeah, it's a pain when you try and eat your beard.